The College Hoop Series is complete. The ASB Combine has gone and went, and the Combine Showcase was an absolute success. Now is the time for the stars of tomorrow to begin their journey tonight. 60 athletes will be selected by the 30 franchises of the Association of Simulation Basketball, and they will look to immediately make their mark. Who will be the breakout player in this year's draft? The College Hoop Series saw the 10th seeded Duke Blue Devils fight through the pack to win the first College Hoop Series championship. Besting some of the premier schools in our series to get to the title game was a feat in its own. But to bring home the hardware was something those players can be proud of. Tonight, 5 of their players enter the draft for the opportunity of a lifetime. Where will Vernon Carey, Devin Vieira, Gerard Clifton, Trey Jones, and Kyle Thomas land? One of the top schools in our series leads the pack with the amount of players entering the draft. How will the Blue Devils do on draft day? Powell, Kenny, Joyner, Wiseman, Toppin, Smith, Demonby, Thompson, Nasty, Law, Lawson, Ball, Hampton, Malone, Stewart, O'Brien, Reeves, Burt, Baxter, Flynn. These are some of the names that will be called tonight. In a few short moments, we will find out where their new destinations will be. It's the Season 2 ASB Draft. The future is now. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. Welcome to the Season 2 ASB Draft presented by MOR Apparel and the Blast Podcast. And speaking of the Blast Podcast, let's get him in here as soon as possible. We have co-hosting with me, my man, my bro, DSP of the Blast Podcast. Say something to the people. He is here via phone conversation to chime in and give his 2 cents on everything on this draft day. DSP, what is going on, my man?
Bravo, thank you for having me on the platform again. It is I, it is me, Brother DSP, your friendly neighborhood media personality, the creative director of Onslaught Multimedia, the creator of the Blast Podcast, and of course, the host of the Blast Podcast. And man, let me tell you, if you've been listening to the Blast, you've definitely been listening and hearing me say how great the ASB is on the Last Life Gaming Network. So to be a part of this, it's going down. That's all I'm gonna say, man. It's going down.
I feel you on that one, bro. And before we get into everything going on, we're going to hear from the commissioner. He is going to pop up here. So Frank Champion is going to hit the podium and give us our introduction. So let's bow out gracefully and allow Frank Champion, the commissioner, to do what he needs to do. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inaugural rookie draft of the Association of Simulation Basketball. Tonight, the standouts of the College Hoop Series will be selected by 30 teams of the ASB. These players will set the standard for what the ASB is all about. Congratulations to the Vancouver Stags for becoming the first ever ASB champions. And congratulations to the Cincinnati Tigers for a tremendous season. Tonight, these players will begin their journey. Who will be the first ever pick for the association? By way of the lottery, the Chicago Express have the first pick in the draft. They have 3 minutes to make their selection. All right, great words from the commissioner, Frank Champion, and I swear, that's not me. That's not my voice. We may sound alike. Some people say they never see Frank Champion and Bravo 33 in the same room at the same time, like Superman and Clark Kent, but I swear, we're not the same people. I'm not a crook, I guess. I don't know. That's just a corny joke. Another one of my many corny jokes. But DSP, we have started. The Chicago Express are on the clock. As you see it, 2.5 minutes are on the board. Down at the bottom is the draft ticker. You're going to see all the guys, where they've gone. If you missed anything, you will be able to catch up on the ticker down low. So here's what we need to talk about. Who, in your opinion, is going to be this guy to come off the board first? Who are you looking at?
I mean, I can't really speak for any of the scouts that I've spoken to, but from what I'm hearing a lot of talk about Chris Kenney, the 6'7" point guard coming out of North Carolina. A guy that I didn't really have on my board, like really high on my big board. He was on my big board, but he wasn't really high. Another guy they were talking about was Myles Powell.
Myles Powell, yes, sir. Yes,
you know, that's one of the main guys out there that's really making a lot of noise amongst all the scouts. Of course, LaMelo Ball. It's really what the Express needs. What does the Chicago Express really need right now? We know they have Bradley Beal. He's not going anywhere. So, I mean, from my perspective, I would think they're looking at a point guard. So
it's great that you asked that question. I'm looking for them here on my board. Bradley Beal, Al Horford, and TJ Warren are all returning for the Chicago Express. Out for them is Reggie Jackson and Shabazz Napier. So 2 point guards will be unrestricted free agents in this upcoming free agency period, which we will cover here on the Last Life Gaming Network right here on YouTube. So you would have to assume they go point guard. Now, do they take Myles Powell, who is 6'2", but he is in my opinion, he is a point guard. He's a scoring point guard, just like, and there's our first chime. The pick is in. So I'm going to cut out. But like I said, it could be Myles Powell. It could be Chris Kenney. Let's see what the commissioner comes with. He's going to approach the podium now. And with the first pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Chicago Express select Chris Kenney from the University of North Carolina. The Grand Rapids Lions are now on the clock. And there it is, the number 1 pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, Chris Kenney, off the board first, the 6'7" point guard for North Carolina. Just like you said, the scouts were salivating over him. They were talking about him since early on in the mock draft that Kenney might go number 1 to the Express. And here he is, man, selected by Chicago. He is going to be playing alongside Bradley Beal in that backcourt. What do you think of this pick, DSP?
I think it's a great pick for the Chicago Express because he is part of the new hybrid point guard that this draft alone is beginning to bring in. 6'7", he can pass, he can shoot, he can create. Like you just said, the scouts could not stop talking about this guy at the draft combine, and it was a beautiful thing. So I'm glad that Chris Kenney got picked up. Congratulations to that young man. Yeah,
I know he's going to be absolutely hyped. He's going to go nuts in the Discord when he finds out he was the first selection in our first ever ASB draft. The man always shows up to the YouTube chats and makes his mark in there. So it's good to see a guy who's active in the league and whatnot to be our number 1 pick. Congratulations to Chris Kenney. Congratulations to T Express. But we only got a minute and 40 left. Who is going to go number 2? I'm going to start off on this one. I'm going to say this has got to be Myles Powell here. I mean, the man is probably the next best guy on this draft board. 6'2", 196. What does he play at the next level? Will he be the 1? Will he stay at the 2? He played a little 1 in college, but you just don't know here. I mean, it's going to be insane when you think about it. What do you think, DSP?
Who has the number 2 pick?
The Grand Rapids Lions. They're on the clock, and their pick is in. Their pick is in. That was quick. Commissioner's going to come up on this board. Let's see what he's got to say. Let's see what they go with here. And with the second pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Grand Rapids Lions select Mitchell O'Brien from Seton Hall University.
What?
The San Antonio Rampage are now on the clock. Mitchell O'Brien. Wow. Hold on. The Grand Rapids Lions, with the second pick in the draft, just selected Mitchell O'Brien. Nobody had Mitchell O'Brien this early on their draft board. I've got to go hunting for him to find out stats. I mean, while I'm doing that, go ahead, DSP. You go ahead. Go ahead.
He averaged 11.3 points per game and 5 rebounds per game. He definitely wasn't high on my board. He was, I mean, to be honest, he was very this is a shocker.
What position does he play at the next level? He's only 6'5". Does he play the 3 like he played at Seton Hall alongside Myles Powell?
I can't see that happening. It depends on the team that they're playing against. Because if they run into teams like, say, the Spags or the Tigers, do they really put him up against Giannis and LeBron?
I don't know, but the Rampage wasted no time.
The third
Here we go. Let's see what they got.
In the Season 2 ASB draft, the San Antonio Rampage select D'Amico Burt out of Louisiana State University. The Austin Wranglers are now on the clock.
So the Rampage went right up to the board and said, look, we have our pick. He didn't get picked second. They went with Brian O'Brien. They said, we want D'Amico Burt. The Rampage, who have Devin Booker and John Wall and Jonas Valanciunas, they just reached up, snagged D'Amico Burt, who in my opinion was definitely a top 5 pick, and said to him, hey, we need to grab him and grab him now before anybody tries to come to us with any kind of deals. I mean, look at him. He has the ability to defend, rebound the ball, be everywhere, big assist numbers. I know you have the numbers in front of you. What do you have for D'Amico Burt, big bro?
9 points per game, almost 6 rebounds a game, and 5 assists
That's
per
huge.
game at
That's
power
huge.
forward.
That is huge. 5 assists per game at power forward is such a big deal. He's not a facilitator. He doesn't bring the rock up. When you're 6'9", 242, and you get 5 assists per game, there's only a few guys at that size that are able to do that. And one of them was in the championship game, and he was the runner-up. I think you might know who I'm talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm just happy to see my guy, D'Amico Burt, get picked this high. I did have him high on the board, but I did not have him at least within the top 10. Like, he's pick number 3.
Top 3?
It's a great pick
Yeah.
for the team.
Big. Listen, the Rampage needed a big. Valanciunas needed help. He needed help, and the fact that they were able to get him here, it's a great thing. So I'm getting something in my ear, DSP. I'm hearing that there might be some trade rumors going on with this pick and Austin. I don't know if you've heard anything, but if you can further elaborate, sir, that there might be a trade that Austin is actively looking to trade down. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't. Austin's looking to trade down for more picks, or?
I mean, at this point, from what I'm hearing, is that the Austin Wranglers they might be trading down on this pick here, that they might not be putting in a pick at all. I mean, look how much time is left on the clock. We have 3 minutes in each pick for each draft. So we're here down to the 40-second mark, and they have not submitted a pick yet. The Rampage were very quick to submit their pick. So here we are now. Austin, one of their rivals, their in-state rivals, were this late, and we haven't heard anything yet. So let's take a close peek here. I think the commissioner is going to come out now and let us know exactly what's happening. I think we're going to have a trade here.
We have a trade to announce. The Austin Wranglers trade their 4th overall pick to the San Antonio Rampage for Jonas Valanciunas and a Season 3 first-round pick. The San Antonio Rampage are now on the clock.
So you just heard that. The Rampage jumped back into the first round for this very next pick, trading away Jonas Valanciunas and giving him a pick for the next season. And they get the 4th pick overall here. So not only did they just grab D'Amico Burt after, we'll talk about the Lions once we get a second, but they just grabbed D'Amico Burt, and now here they are at the number 4 pick. I know that must have shaken up your big board immediately. And before I even give you a chance to elaborate on it, these teams are picking very fast. The San Antonio Rampage pick is in. Let's hear. The commissioner must be tired. Let's hear what the commissioner is going to say now.
And with the 4th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the San Antonio Rampage select Peter Pearson out of Butler University. The Alabama Boars are now on the clock.
So Peter Pearson comes off the board at number 4 to the San Antonio Rampage. Man, Peter Pearson, D'Amico Burt,
3 and 4. San Antonio Rampage made big moves there. They got rid of Valanciunas. Who does D'Amico Burton move to the center position, and they put Pearson at the 4 to play with Booker and Wall as a very fast team at San Antonio? What do you think there, DSP?
That sounds like a great strategy. I mean, we've seen Peter Pearson at the draft combine play a little power forward and did pretty well. He defended guys that were a lot stronger than he was. I believe Burt can play that center position if they're going to go to that position as basketball. He can distribute the ball. He can spread the floor out. He can also attack the basket. So this move right here almost has me speechless.
Yeah, it's a very dynamic position to have grab both of those guys. You got a power forward who can distribute. You've got pretty much a combo forward who can shoot it from downtown and is not afraid to bang down low with the big guys, as he showed in the draft showcase. Would you say that's one of the first players to show out in the combine showcase to up his stock? Maybe Burt or Pearson?
I would say both players, but I would say Peter Pearson, pull up Pete. He definitely like made his stock rise to the highest because, like I said, he was in there banging with established power forwards in the NCAA college series.
And it's insane. Now the Boars are here on the clock. They got 1:05 to go, and their pick is now in. So let's see who the commissioner is going to announce for the Alabama Boars' first pick. And with the 5th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Alabama Boars select Barry Lawson out of Louisiana State University. The Carolina Reapers are now on the clock. So the Reapers are now on the clock, but Barry Lawson out of LSU is off the board. Barry Lawson, one of the top players in this year's college hoop series for the LSU Tigers, the Furious Four, one of your main guys. I feel like if you were Ahmad Rashad and Inside Stuff, you'd be calling him one of your main men. My main man, Barry Lawson. I'm gonna let you take the floor. Go ahead, DSP. Let them know about Barry Lawson.
I mean, Barry Lawson, aka B Law, he stood out in the All-Star Showcase that was in the NCAA college hoops. It was him and another great player that we might be seeing next year if he does decide to come out by the name of Joe Black. They were going at it toe-to-toe. Barry Lawson averaged about 13.6 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and shot 41% from the three-point line. So it's very important for a guy at his size to be able to shoot the ball in the ASB league. So I believe it's a great pick for Alabama. I
think he's going to be a good swingman. He's going to be over there playing with Ben Simmons and Kevin Love. The questionable guy is Hassan Whiteside. He's a unrestricted free agent. He can go wherever he likes. Will he stay with Alabama? That'd be huge to have Simmons, Love, Whiteside, and Lawson in the mix. They're immediately a team that has to be a contender with that lineup there. So solid pick at number 5 for the Bama Boars. But right now we have the Carolina Reapers up, and they have 45 seconds left to make a selection. It looks like they're taking their sweet time here. So they've got some guys. Let's talk about them. Jokic, Kemba Walker, and Blake Griffin are all returning next season for the Reapers, and they're not really losing anybody of significance. So who do you think that the Reapers will go with here, DSP?
I mean, they have many options. I mean, we still have guys like Marshall Ball. We still have guys like Jared Gary, Malachi Flynn,
right?
Sean Baxter.
Lots of names still.
There's a lot of names in this draft period. Like, this is going to change the atmosphere of the ASB.
Oh, the pick is in. They had 5 seconds to go, and the pick is in. All right, we're going to go down to the commissioner, Frank Champion. Let's see what he's got. And with the 6th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Carolina Reapers select Jared Gary out of Kansas University. The Seattle Dragons are now on the clock. So Jared Gary goes to the Carolina Reapers. That is a very good look. The 6'7", 250-pound shooting guard, 15-pound, shooting guard out of Kansas gets selected by the Reapers. That's a good pick. DSP, what do you think about this pick?
I love this pick because Jared Gary is definitely a solid go-to guard to have on your team. He can attack the basket. He defends. He's a great perimeter shooter. As you can see in the highlights alone, this was just him at the NBA. At the ASB draft combine.
Yeah,
so,
sir.
I mean,
ASB.
It's a great pick, man. I mean, great height, great size, and he played for a team that shocked a lot of people in the college hoops tournament.
Yeah, he did a great job. Made it all the way to the Final Four with his big man Demonby. Did a great job here. So the Dragons are on the clock. They must have a pick that they want to get in immediately. They're like, we don't want to deal with trades. So they have their pick in. Let's get right back to the commissioner. I'm telling you, he's going to shed a few pounds tonight. And with the 7th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Seattle Dragons select Francis Joyner out of the University of North Carolina. The St. Louis Jaguars are now on the clock. So another member of the UNC 4-guard offense goes off the board here at number 7. Francis Joyner, one of the top guards in this last year's college hoop series, has been selected by the Seattle Dragons. DSP, tell me what you think of this pick.
I love this pick. I hope that he has the opportunity to start and he can really showcase his skill in college. He was within a four-guard offense, and he had to come off the bench, but he still shined with just the limited opportunities that he had. And even in the tournament, they had a nice little run, and he was probably the guy running the show. He averaged 9 points a game, almost 4 rebounds a game, and almost 4 assists a game. So I like this pick for the Dragons.
Very solid pick for the Dragons, but here's my question. Returning for the Dragons is D'Angelo Russell and Donovan Mitchell. So I don't know if they have a lot of plans for him right now, but I mean, as you can see, that's going to be, he's definitely going to be a backup, at least at the moment, because D'Angelo Russell is a premier guard in our league, and to think that Joyner's just going to come in and get the job immediately is a bold statement to make. So Joyner's got some work to do. He's landing in a good spot there with the Seattle Dragons. So good luck to him in that way. So now the Jaguars are on the clock. They've got Bam Adebayo, Jamal Murray, and Malcolm Bridges all coming back, and they're not losing anybody significantly. I'd like to believe that they might go with a big here to complement Bam Adebayo, and their pick is in, and back the commissioner will come to tell us who have the Jaguars gone with. So let's head on down to the podium and see exactly what he's got. And with the 8th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the St. Louis Jaguars select Anthony Edwards out of Georgia University. The Hartford Pirates are now on the clock. Solid pick. They go with the 2-guard in Anthony Edwards. He can sky. He was in the dunk contest. He did his thing. I believe, I can't even remember off the top of my head now. I believe he was the runner-up in that dunk contest. But nonetheless, he was a guy out of Georgia that did a lot of things. DSP, real quick before we start talking about the Pirates, what do you think of that pick, the Jaguars and Anthony Edwards?
I like the pick. Anthony Edwards is a solid player. Almost averaged 15 points a game and almost grabbed 5 boards a game. I mean, and that's in the NCAA college hoop series. So imagine what he can do for a team in the ASB, at the ASB level. Like you said, he's a solid athlete. He's not afraid to get into the paint and bang with the big guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great pick for the team. I like it.
Nice. That is very good. Okay, the Pirates have their pick in. Let's see exactly who the Pirates go with. 9th pick overall. Let's see what the commissioner's got. And with the 9th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Hartford Pirates select LaMelo Ball of the Illawarra Hawks of the National Basketball League in Australia. The New York Pit Bulls are now on the clock. The Pit Bulls are now on the clock, but he is off the board. LaMelo Ball, that graphic is wrong. He is not 6'3", 145. He is 6'8", 181. LaMelo Ball is off the board at number 9 to the Hartford Pirates. What do you think of that pick, DSP?
I think it's an amazing pick for the Hartford Pirates, who need help at every position they can get. I mean, no disrespect to the GM that's there, but obviously he's looking into doing major things. LaMelo Ball averaged 17 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game, and almost 7 assists per game. And I believe that was in the NBL, correct?
Yeah, that was in Australia. True numbers from Australia for LaMelo Ball. And I'll tell you, for the Pirates, the only redeeming return that they have right now is Eric Bledsoe. So to get LaMelo Ball to come in is a good look, because he can play the 2 guard if need be, because he can shoot it. They lose Brandon Ingram to free agency. Will he come back? They're not sure. So all they've got to look forward to right now is Eric Bledsoe. Hopefully they can make some more moves in this draft and make some big changes to that team, because they need some solid guys there. So the Pit Bulls are on the clock, and before I can even get started, they have their pick in. Man, this draft is moving fast. We're already at pick number 10. We're only 20 minutes in. And with the 10th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the New York Pit Bulls select DEON Simmons out of the University of Kentucky. The El Paso Vaqueros are on the clock. DEON Simmons, the tallest point guard in this year's draft, is selected here at number 10 by the New York Pit Bulls, who need a lot of help. Jason Tatum, who got injured late in the season, they missed the playoffs. Jonathan Isaac and Yusuf Nurkic are the guys that are going to look forward to having DEON Simmons on their team. They're going to be a tall club next season. DSP, what do you think about the 6'10" point guard coming off the board here, the cousin of Ben?
I love DEON Simmons. He showed me a lot of great skill during the college series. I paid a lot of attention to him due to his relations to Ben Simmons, another player that I do admire. One thing I did notice about DEON is that he has a jump shot.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to take the jump shot.
That's right.
And I just think once he works on his 3 and he becomes more confident in his 3-point shot, he's going to be a very deadly player.
Yeah, I mean, you can't coach 6'10". you can't coach athletic ability at 6'10" to run the point guard position in at the pro level. So that's just a solid pick there. I'm not mad at that pick for them to go 6'10" DEON Simmons at the number 10 pick. In my opinion, at one point he was the top pick, and then a couple other guys declared and he slid down a little. But I mean, look, a lot of point guards have come off the board so far. Kenny, Ball, Simmons, already off the board. 3 top point guards. I think that is the trend that is going to be set today. And again, okay, now the Vaqueros are on the clock, but not anymore. Their pick is in, so the commissioner is going to come hustling back to the podium, and let's hear what he's got to say. And with the 11th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Vaqueros select Obi Toppin out of Dayton University. Great pick. The Utah Tribe are now on the clock. Vaqueros. Obi Toppin is off the board. One of the premier ballers in the college hoop series. Obi Toppin out of Dayton University. DSP, let's talk about it. What you got to say about Toppin?
Obi Toppin was very high on my big board. This is kind of low for me. I had him going at least in the top 5.
Yeah.
But this is a great pick. 17.8 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, shot almost 50% at the field goal, and 42% at the 3. I mean, so Obi Toppin is a real deal. I've seen him and Chris Kenny going crazy.
Oh yeah.
At the showcase.
Yes, sir.
So, it was amazing. So that's a great pick.
Yeah, I mean, I said it in that combine game. Imagine these two as teammates. It didn't happen here. Kenny to the Express, Toppin to the Vaqueros, but he's got himself a pretty damn good teammate by the name of the Beard on the Vaqueros. So he's going to a team that's got James Harden, Rudy Gobert, and Andrew Wiggins. So be on the lookout for the El Paso Vaqueros next season. It's going to be a movie for them. If they can all click at the right time, El Paso is going to be a team to be reckoned with next season. So here we are. We have the Utah Tribe. And just when we get ready to talk about another team, they throw their pick in there. That is the beauty and the quickness of the ASB draft. So here comes the commissioner. Once again, let's hear who the Tribe have selected. And with the 12th pick In the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Utah Tribe select Devontae Stoudemire out of Memphis University. The Las Vegas Aces are now on the clock. Devontae Stoudemire gets selected by the Utah Tribe, which is a solid pick. And you see the first highlight of Devontae Stoudemire is him shooting the 3-ball. He was in our college hoop series All-Star Week 3-point shootout. Didn't do well, but the man was one of the best shooters in the college hoop series. You got some numbers to talk about there, DSP?
Absolutely. Let's stay on his 3-point shooting percentage. He almost shot 50%. He shot at 48%.
Insane.
He averaged 12.2 points per game, almost 4 rebounds at 3.2, and the shooter actually passed the ball as well at 2.4 assists per game. So this is a great pick for anybody who's looking for the guard that can shoot first, but also looks for the pass.
And he's going to join DeAndre Ayton and Derrick Rose. They might lose Serge Ibaka. He's going to be a free agent coming up. But to join Ayton and Rose and be a guy that can shoot on the wing, that's going to be a good look, good solid pick by the Utah Tribe there. And I'm happy for him. So now the Aces are on the board, just under 2 minutes to go on the clock. Who is Kevin Durant and company going to select here? We're going to find out right about now as we are rolling along in this draft. Pick number 13. We're almost out of this lottery. One more pick and we're out of this lottery. Let's hear what the commissioner has on this one. And with the 13th pick in the ASB draft, the Las Vegas Aces select Malachi Flynn out of San Diego State University. The San Francisco Gladiators are now on the clock. Malachi Flynn of the San Diego State University Aztecs, couldn't remember their nickname there, the Aztecs, he gets selected here. And I think this is a solid pick here at the point guard position for Las Vegas. I mean, they lacked a true point guard. They had Vucevic, they had Collins, and they had Durant. So now they've got a point guard that they can say, hey, man, we got a guy that can hang the hat on. I don't know how well he's going to gel with these other guys because we know he's a ball-dominant scorer, DSP.
I'm going to be honest here. I'm not a fan of this pick at all.
Talk about it.
I had guys much higher than him.
Yeah.
On the pick here, I had guys like Chad Smith.
Yep.
I believe who was one of his teammates.
Yeah. I'll tell you now, I don't want to cut you off, but they had a lot of turmoil with each other. Smith and Flynn weren't the friendliest duo, but they got along far enough to get to the championship game before it was all said and done. But go ahead, sir.
And I've also got another guy out of Seton Hall, this combo guard by the name of Myles Powell.
Why is he not picked yet? We're almost out. He has a chance to go here to San Francisco. They've got CP3. They've got Kyle Anthony Towns, Big Cat. A pickup of Myles Powell right here would be a good look. An aging CP3 can help guide Myles Powell to being the next premier guard in this league. And I can't believe there's a lot of guys that are already off the board. Is his size a factor? Is that what you think? Tell me what you think there.
I believe his size is a factor because that was one thing a lot of the scouts were mentioning. They were kind of leery about his 6'2", 6'3" frame, but his scoring ability tends to, overshadow that. So
it's just, I don't know. I mean, he is such a great scorer. I've seen him drop 50 in the college hoop series. You got to believe that the Gladiators are going to have to pick him here. So their pick is now in. The commissioner will come back to this podium. Let's see what he's got to say here. And with the 14th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the San Francisco Gladiators select Max Ehrer out of Arizona University. The Louisville Sting are now on the Max Ehrer from the University of Arizona gets selected. Okay, now the draft is taking a turn here, DSP. I did not expect Max Ehrer to even be selected in the first round. But the San Francisco Gladiators saw something in Max Ehrer that they said, you know what? We're going to pick him here. Now, again, there are plenty of point guards and two guards that are left on the board. Like you said, Chad Smith. Like you said, Myles Powell, who has the ability to play the one, has still not been selected here. And San Francisco goes with Max Ehrer. What do you think about this pick, DSP? I'll give you the floor.
Another pick I'm not a fan of. We still have guys like Gerard Clifton.
Yep.
We still have guys like Vernon Carrick Jr., Mike Nasty, Marshall Law. I mean, ball players that still have, guys like Cole Anthony.
Right.
What's going on?
With all the amount of point guards, I did not expect Max Ehret to come in. He's a little slower for a guard. He plays true point guard, 6'6", 240 pounds. You're not going to be able to keep up with a lot of pros in this league. Okay, the Sting's pick is in. Their pick is in, and let's hear what the commissioners got to say about this one. And with the 15th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Louisville Sting select Kyle Thomas out of Duke University. The Bronx Brawlers are now on the clock. Kyle Thomas out of Duke gets selected by the Louisville Sting, the first pick outside of our lottery. He was a stalwart for Duke. Didn't start at the beginning of the season, made it into the starting lineup as they moved Clifton down to the 3 position, and he went off. He can rebound, he can defend. He doesn't even need to be a scorer to be effective in the game. Tell me what you got about him, DSP.
I mean, I love Kyle Thomas. He's a sleeper. I got to see Kyle Thomas firsthand against LSU. That was a big game in the tournament. I was there personally because I know the Furious Four personally.
The Furious Four.
so I got to see him, Gerard Clifton, Devin Vieira. Seeing that team in person, I knew once they beat LSU, they were winning that national championship.
Oh man, yeah. Duke did big things in that tournament. I had LSU. You heard me throughout the entire season. I had LSU winning the championship over San Diego State. I got the San Diego State part right, but I did not expect Duke to be there. So again, congrats to Duke, and congrats to Kyle Thomas. If I'm not mistaken, the first Blue Devil off the board here at number 15.
Yes, he is.
So
I mean, he's a 7-footer, and he's a solid big man.
Yes.
That can play power forward and center at 7 foot.
And mind you, he is joining Luka Doncic, Malcolm Brogdon, and DeAndre Jordan. They're losing DeMar DeRozan, and they're losing Davis Bertans, but the trio he's going to is a very good trio. So here we go. Russell Westbrook's Bronx Ballers have submitted their pick. Let's see who they got for their pick. And with the 16th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Bronx Brawlers select Chad Smith from San Diego State University. The Arizona Vipers are now on the clock. So Malachi Flynn's best friend in Chad Smith is finally off the board here at number 16, who in my opinion should have been picked maybe 14 to the San Francisco Gladiators, but the Bronx Brawlers said, you know what? We're going to grab him here. So how is his now here's the question to you, DSP. How is his dynamic going to work with Russell Westbrook?
I think it'll work well because Chad Smith is a combo guard, although he prefers to play point guard. I believe once he and Russell Westbrook have an understanding of how much they have to share the ball, because Chad Smith is a player that needs to have the ball in his hand for him to be effective. Whether it's scoring or passing, he has to have the ball in his hands as well, and we already know how Russell Westbrook likes to play. So once they get that understanding, they can be a very deadly backcourt.
So hear me out here. Chad Smith enrolls to San Diego State University, wants to play the 1, gets to the team. There's already an established point guard there. His name's Malachi Flynn. He's a ball-dominant point guard. Chad Smith makes it to the championship. Chad Smith goes to the ASB Draft, gets selected number 16 by the Bronx Brawlers. His teammate, a ball-dominant point guard in Russell Westbrook. And it seems like the vicious cycle for Chad Smith just keeps going. I think, but to be honestly fair, Russell Westbrook I would deal with more than Malachi Flynn, because Russell Westbrook is a proven veteran of pro basketball. So I think Chad Smith's going to be okay playing alongside of Russell Westbrook here. What do you think on that?
And let's not forget, he went to a championship game.
Right.
You never know.
Right.
Him and Russ might go to that ASB championship game.
And let's see if he can improve them from that 8 seed. Right now we have the Vipers in the 8 seed that made it all the way to the conference finals. Let's see if Ja Morant and Brad Stevens can get a good pick here to help complement Ja on this floor. Let's see what the commissioner has for the Arizona Vipers. And with the 17th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Arizona Vipers select Harris Gurley from the University of Virginia. The Pittsburgh Trojans are now on the clock. Something has to be going on here. The Harris Gurley of Virginia, not a bad player at all. Don't get me wrong here. So we've had Jared Gary go off the board. Great pick there. I'm not going to discredit the Reapers at all. Great pick there at the 2 guard position. We've seen guys like Max Error get selected. We've seen Mitchell O'Brien, which we still haven't really talked about yet, but as soon as we get a moment, we will. Get selected. Guys like Miles Powell, guys like Marshall Law, guys like Gerard Clifton have not been picked up yet, and we are at pick 18 in the first round. What do you think is going on, DSP?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of those guys you did mention play positions that weren't really needed at the high points. But Miles Powell, I'm really shocked about. Cole Anthony, I'm really shocked about. KARL Malone IV, who had a great showing at the draft combine showcase.
Yep.
Didn't get picked up. Like guys like Max Error weren't even on my list.
I'm gonna have to cut you off, DSP. The commissioner's coming up. We got to pick in for the Trojans. And with the 18th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Pittsburgh Trojans select Marshall Law out of Michigan State University. The Nashville Cobras are now on the clock. But there's one of the guys we were talking about as one of the guys that were left off the board. And Marshall Law, I mean, look at that first play. He comes down the floor and flushes it over Obi Toppin. How does Marshall Law drop to 18 to the Pittsburgh Trojans of all teams?
I don't know. Marshall Law was probably ranked in many people's draft board, not just mine, not just yours, in many people's draft boards, really high, at least in the top 15. Some had him top 10, a few had him top 5. But the thing is, that position wasn't truly needed. But if teams saw him low, they were going to grab him. A lot of teams did not expect him to go this low. So it's really shocking to see Marshall Law drop this low. But as you can see with the highlights alone, whoever picked him up got a gem.
DSP, he's on the Trojans. The Trojans were 1 basket away from the ASB finals. He joins.
One thing I could say about that man, Marshall Law, he will not be afraid to take that shot and sink it.
Absolutely. I mean, he's going to be playing alongside KPG, Kristaps Porzingis, and Paul George. And he has the ability to distribute the basketball, DSP. So you're telling me you just added a 6'10" power forward who can distribute the ball and facilitate and initiate plays to a duo like KPG. For Marshall Law, okay, his paycheck might be a little smaller because he didn't go top 5 or top 10 or a lottery pick. But the situation he joins, KPG, I think that's the best 1-2 punch we have in this league right now. And he just probably made them a big 3.
Yes, he did. Absolutely. I mean, if the guys that are watching, if they did not watch the college hoops showcase or did not watch the draft combine showcase, please go back and watch this. Watch some of the fast breaks. This guy, Marshall Law, is the real deal. Marshall Law brought them to the Final Four. He put the team literally on his back to get them to the Final Four before they fell to San Diego State. So the Cobras now have their pick in with 30 seconds left on the clock. Let's see who the Cobras select here. Who are Trae Young and Jaylen Brown going to be joined by? Here's the commissioner. And with the 19th pick
In the Season 2 ASB draft, the Nashville Cobras select Myles Powell from Seton Hall University. The Kansas City Beasts are now on the clock. Myles Powell to the Nashville Cobras. Oh my God, they just got themselves a gem. A gem at the 19th pick overall. Myles Powell, the fact that he dropped this low is insane. An absolute scorer joins another absolute scorer in Trae Young. DSP, what do you think there?
I love this pick. Will we see Trae Young go to 2? Will Myles Powell stay at 2? It's a great dynamic, a great narrative for the team alone. I like, because Trae Young is known to be a scorer, but he can find the open man as well, and that goes the same for Myles Powell, who averaged 16.5 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, and shot 50% from the field and 40% from 3. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man.
It's a great thing here. I'm glad that Myles Powell is finally off the board. He should have been picked several picks before this. In my opinion, he was a top 5 guy. I think San Antonio shook up a lot of things by trading up with Austin, and they changed up a lot of boards for people. But still, Myles Powell was that good of a prospect that there's no way in hell that he should have just been selected at number 19. So we got a little time here. Let's talk about what we've seen so far. Mitchell O'Brien goes number 2.
Yeah.
Max Error goes 14.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? Harris Gurley at 17. 3 picks.
Yeah, that one was weird.
They all got picked in front of Myles Powell. Powell had a great combine showcase. It's just, hold on one second. We've got something here. We have a trade to announce. There's a trade. The Kansas City Beasts trade their 20th overall selection to the Grand Rapids Lions for their draft rights to Mitchell O'Brien. The Grand Rapids Lions are now on the clock. We were just speaking of Mitchell O'Brien. Mitchell O'Brien has just been traded to the Kansas City Beasts for the 20th overall selection. So the Grand Rapids Lions selected at number 2. Maybe that was the plan all along, that the Beasts wanted the selection at number 2, so they were willing to trade up. Wow, wait a minute. The 20th pick overall is now being picked by the Lions, and their pick is in. They wasted no time. Their pick is in. Let's see who they're going to pick here at number 20. Wow, what a turn of events. And with the 20th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Grand Rapids Lions select Jaden Williams out of Kentucky University. The San Diego Skyhawks are now Williams, a member of the red team in the ASB Combine Showcase out of the University of Kentucky, gets selected here. I don't know what the Grand Rapids Lions are seeing in some of these players. I don't mean to say that disrespectfully to Jaden Williams. I'm sure he's going to have tremendous upside, to quote my man Mel Kiper Jr., and he's going to hopefully have an illustrious career here with us at the ASB. But again, there are so many players on the board still that they didn't get it right, in my opinion, the first time with Mitchell O'Brien, and they didn't get it right again picking Jaden Williams. DSP, what you got, man?
I mean, it's another one of those weird picks when you have guys like Mike Nasty still on the board. You have Baby Country, Precious Achua, guys that really showed out. James Wiseman,
right?
Cassius Winston, who was a dominant scorer. Nate Hoover's another dominant scorer during the college series. So it's just weird. It's weird. So
it's very odd. It's very odd. So here's the thing I want to say. The Lions don't have a lot to look forward to. Dante DiVincenzo and Kyle Kuzma are in. De'Aaron Fox has a team option. Marvin Bagley also has a team option, and Dario Saric is an unrestricted free agent. So who are these guys they're going with here in the draft when they've got some big names that can be big splashes for their team? So, I mean, Skyhawks here at the pick. I guess we'll get the chance to go dive in deep in a second. But it sounds like their pick is about to be in here for San Diego. So who is going to join Steph Curry, Oladipo, Miles Turner, and Patrick Beverley. Hopefully this team gets it right better than the Grand Rapids Lions did twice. And with the 21st pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the San Diego Skyhawks select Nico Mannion out of Arizona University. The Tulsa Cyclones are now on the clock. All right, so Nico Mannion out of Arizona University. He's actually one of my favorite players in this draft. A very solid point guard, a good defender from the University of Arizona. Nico Mannion. He was not invited to the Combine Showcase. He was just one of the guys. Plenty of point guards, DSP, that were there. We could only get 8 of them to come in, or maybe 8. I think it was maybe up to 10, depending on the reserves. But I mean, Nico Mannion, a solid point guard, and tell me what you think of that pick there for the Skyhawks.
I like the Nico Mannion pick for the Skyhawks because he can actually come off the bench. He can be a 6th man for them. He averaged about 11 points a game and 5 assists a game. So he understands the game, and he can learn the game at a pace behind those veterans in front of him.
Oh, I lied. I said he wasn't in the Combine Showcase. He was. I apologize. He was on the black team. I said he wasn't, but he absolutely was. I apologize there. My bad, Nico. I didn't mean to be disrespectful and say that you weren't there.
no disrespect to Nico Mannion. Yes, he was there on the black team, but he did his thing as well. He showed up. He came to play. This is why I like the pick, because like you said, he's a solid point guard and he defends.
Right.
So I like this pick for those guys.
I think what they realized in San Diego is they needed some depth at the point guard position. I mean, during the playoffs, how many minutes did Steph play? He played nearly the entire game. And because of that, the man was deadbeat tired at the end of the game. So get himself a solid backup who can do some things for him. And Nico Mannion was a good pick there. So here we go. 22nd pick overall, the Tulsa Cyclones. Kyle Lowry's team, Zion Williamson's team. A solid squad. They were one of the first teams to ever be broadcasted on the ASB live TV against Anthony Davis and the Boise Rams. So they made it to the as a 5th seed, I believe, but lost to the Long Beach Bruins in the first round. I think we should have their pick is going to come up soon. So there's the chime to let us know that the pick is in. So here comes the commissioner. I think he's already lost 3 pounds in these first 50 minutes. Let's see what he's got to say here. And with the 22nd pick in the ASB draft, the Tulsa Cyclones select SHAWN Baxter out of Ohio State University. The Florida Wildcats are now on the clock. SHAWN Baxter out of the Ohio State University. Now, I was talking about how D'Amico Burt and Barry Lawson is your main man. SHAWN Baxter is one of my main men, one of my guys. Proud to see Baxter come off the board here. I knew he was going to be a late 2nd rounder. I think he's still raw, but he's got a lot of game to polish still, but he can shoot it. Flat out shoot it. DSP, let's talk about him.
SHAWN Baxter is a guy that I've been watching since his high school days. He's low-key known as the king of street basketball. This guy used to go to different basketball courts all over the nation, beat their top guys, and be called the king of the court. And this is not legend. This is real. He went to Rucker Park. He went to Franklin Park. He went to parks in Jersey. He went everywhere and beat the best guy. So I'm glad to see a guy like SHAWN Baxter get picked up. Big shout out to you, brother.
The kid out of Chi-Town, the kid out of Chicago. I know he probably wanted to go number 1 to the Express, but hey, he's heading to Tulsa. He gets to play with Zion, and I think I can see what the Cyclones are doing here. They had a shooter in JJ Redick and traded him away midway through the season. OG Anunoby can shoot it as well, but SHAWN Baxter's a knockdown shooter. So to have Baxter, in my opinion, most likely going to be coming off the bench to start, to come down and get into a spot, sit at the wing, sit at the hash, and let him fly from 3. It's going to be an awesome sight, and I cannot wait to see how well my guy does in the ASB. So congratulations to SHAWN Baxter. I think we're finally starting to get these picks right. I think we're out of the rut of WTF picks. The last few picks have been all right here. So right now, the Florida Wildcats who will be going through a rebrand. They will not be the Florida Wildcats in season 2. They will be the newest team out of Tampa. We just don't know their name yet, but for now, we're still calling the Florida Wildcats. They've got less than a minute to go here on the clock, and their pick is in. So we're going to get to the commissioner again, and we're going to hear exactly what he's got to say here. Let's see him approach the podium. And with the 23rd pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Florida Wildcats select KARL Malone IV out of The Ohio State University. The Portland Storm are now on the clock. KARL Malone IV, the Amish Wonder, another player, back-to-back players from The Ohio State University, have been selected off the board here. So, Kawhi gets a point guard to go alongside of him. I believe, Spencer Dinwiddie's their guy, but to have Malone as a backup now, or possibly a starter in the future, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Dinwiddie is a guy returning next season. Cousins is a guy that's not returning next season. But Dinwiddie has a backup now in KARL Malone IV. Let's really quickly, DSP, what you got for them?
I mean, KARL Malone IV is a great guy, great ball player, Amish Wonder, great Uber, great. Congrats to him, man.
Absolutely. We're happy to hear that KARL Malone IV, Amish Wonder, got picked up. Storm have their pick in. Let's see what the commissioners got to say here. And with the 24th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Portland Storm select Mehmet Sinai out of West Virginia University. The Long Beach Bruins are now on the clock. Mehmet Sinai out of West Virginia was a player for West Virginia. He had a very solid year for the West Virginia Mountaineers, I believe. Yeah, the West Virginia Mountaineers. But they did not make that much noise. He was not invited to the combine this time. I think I have that one correct. He was not invited to the combine. So, I mean, they just went off of college tape alone. And Sinai was a decent pick here. But again, DSP, there are a lot of guys on this board that are still on here. I mean, let's talk about it. Gerard Clifton could have went there to the Portland Storm. You got anybody else off the top of your head? I'm sure you do.
Actually, that was the guy I was thinking about, because if they really needed that small forward position, why wouldn't you go with the defending national, well, not defending, but the latest national champion in a guy like Gerard Clifton, who was a leader on that team. When that team needed a basket, or when they needed a key defensive stop, Gerard Clifton was the guy.
Right, Clifton was that guy. He can shoot it from outside. We're at pick 25. All right, I mean, let's talk about it now. We have the time. Let's talk about it. Gerard Clifton decided to opt out of the combine. He got invited, and he said, you know what? I'm going to work out at home. I'm not going to head down to Orlando and do the workouts there. They can come to do the individual workouts with me by team. And I think I've rubbed a lot of scouts the wrong way. And I think that's why we're here at number 25. And Clifton is still on the board. He still has not been selected. He's slowly turning into the Aaron Rodgers of this year's draft. The Long Beach Bruins now have their pick in. Maybe he goes here. Can he complement Klay Thompson and PJ Washington? Let's see who the Bruins have selected. Let's go down to the commissioner. And with the 25th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Long Beach Bruins select R.J. Hampton of the New Zealand Breakers of the National Basketball League in Australia. The Jacksonville Pumas are now on the clock. So LaMelo Ball gets selected at 9 from the Australian League. And now here at 25 is R.J. Hampton out of the New Zealand Breakers of the same basketball league. Hampton didn't have as good as a run as LaMelo did. I don't think he even started for New Zealand. But, I mean, DSP, what you got about him?
I don't have much on R.J. Hampton because, as you said, he didn't get much playing time in the NBL. So I didn't really have him high on my list. And he didn't really show up at the showcase.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was looking at guys like Cole Anthony to maybe get picked here. Because I knew this team didn't need a big, but I knew they needed a guard, and Cole Anthony probably would have fit their program or their organization quite well, but they didn't go with it. So hey.
Yeah, so, I mean, RJ Hampton, I think, is going to be a very good pick. It's going to be a very good player for the Bruins. He's playing on a team who likes to run up and down the floor. He's going to be playing alongside guys like Klay Thompson. And I think it's going to be a decent look. I mean, will he stay with Long Beach? Who knows? They might move him right now in the draft. I mean, you saw what happened with Mitchell O'Brien and Grand Rapids. The number 2 pick got traded away for the 20th pick. So I maybe that's just the Lions organization. I have no idea what they're doing, in all honesty. But nonetheless, the Pumas are on the clock. Damian Lillard, as we all know, Damian Lillard literally put that team on his back, and his back paid for it. Pinched nerve in his back. The man still scored the highest amount of points in any ASB game in our young history. 58 points. DSP, who should the Jacksonville Pumas go with right about now?
I just mentioned his name. Perhaps Cole Anthony to help our guy out. Dame Lillard out. Get the nerves right in his back.
Yeah.
It's a break. Maybe get a big like a Vernon Carey or a James Wiseman who's still out there. Or what about Triple B's?
Billy Bob. Yeah, Billy Bob Booker Thompson's good here. Don't forget Gerard Clifton still on the board. It's crazy. It's crazy. Maybe he goes legit 27 to I'm trying to remember who's there at 27. Maybe he goes 27 the very next pick, because that's where Aaron Rodgers went, I believe, in the NFL draft. So maybe he's going to play at Kyrie in Providence. Okay, the pick is in. Who is going to join Damian Lillard and Clint Capella down in Jacksonville? Here comes the commissioner. And with the 26th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Jacksonville Pumas select Gerard Clifton out of Duke University. The Providence Outlaws are now on the clock. So here we go. Finally, DSP, he has made it. The God Gerard Clifton, 6'7", 210 pounds out of Duke. No footage to show you, because as we said, he had decided to opt out and not play in the Combine Showcase games. So it's kind of unreal, in my opinion, that has happened, that he has even dropped this far. But it's not surprising. What do you got, DSP?
I want to harken back on what you said prior. You mentioned how did him not working out hurt his draft stock?
Right.
You also asked that same question during the live broadcast, and I wholeheartedly agree that it did. And look at what he did, because we mentioned, you even seen in the beginning package, Gerard Clifton was a strong proponent for that Duke Blue Devils national championship team.
Oh yeah.
So to see a guy of his talent, his caliber, drop so low in the draft, it could mean one of two things. It could mean that he had a bad attitude. It could mean that the scouts may have felt away. They didn't like what they saw in his personal workout. It could be anything. But I want Gerard Clifton to take this as a motivational thing. I want him to play with the chip on his shoulder against every team that passed him up.
Yeah, maybe he'll change his number here to 26. And I think we're going to get some more movement here, DSP. I'm getting something in my ear here. The production team in the truck. I think we might have a trade here. The Outlaws might be looking to trade out of this pick as they feel comfortable with their team. Yes, the commissioner is going to come up right now, and he's going to announce a trade here. So let's have a trade to announce. The Providence Outlaws trade their 27th overall selection and a future first-round pick to the Hartford Pirates for Eric Bledsoe and Trey Burke. The Hartford Pirates are now on the clock. All right, so the Hartford Pirates are now on the clock here. The Hartford Pirates, who drafted LaMelo Ball at number 9, they had to have traded up here for a reason here. Do you think they go small again? They go with another guard to help complement with LaMelo Ball? And there's our graphic. So they gave away Bledsoe, who I was just talking about. So LaMelo's the guy. They drafted LaMelo and they traded Bledsoe and Burke away. So LaMelo is now the guy at Hartford, as you can see there. because as they go, they send them to their rivals. So clearly, Hartford was just like, you know what? I don't even care where they play. We could play them 4 times a year. I don't care. We got LaMelo. We got our guy. Who do you think they go with here?
I think they should go with the big. I don't know who they're going to go with, but when you have guys like Mike Nasty still out there and 3Bs, triple Bs, Thompson out there, I mean, well, and Wiseman. I keep bringing him up. I had him so high on my board, and he still hasn't been picked.
Wiseman, Stewart, Demonby, Reeves. The big men have been shunned away so far. It's been a lot of guards and a lot of swingmen. They're not the running back of our league. Okay, the pick is in. Let's see. You mentioned Mike Nasty. Let's see if this is the pick they go with. Maybe this is where they go with him here. And with the 27th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Hartford Pirates select Mike Nasty out of San Diego State University. The Boise Rams are now on the clock. And hey man, you called it, DSP. Mike Nasty finally off the board. I can't believe it. At 27, Mike Nasty is finally picked up. And I mean, look at some of these plays that he is doing here. Defending, rebounding. This is the big thing about Mike Nasty to me. Big guy, big, strong, big man. In my opinion, I told you he is the best center in this in this draft. He was the best center, in my opinion, in college hoops. I mean, Isaiah Stewart might have something else to say about it, the player of the year. But nonetheless, in my opinion, from what I saw, Mike Nasty did a lot of things and he can do it all. And the biggest thing is the man has a mid-range shot at the center position. DSP, what you think?
I mean, I love this pick. I somewhat predicted it, I guess.
Yeah.
He averaged 12 points, 4 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and he shot 51% from the field.
That's huge.
Even that in today's NBA, NBA,
ASB, sir.
And it's a great pick. I like Mike Nasty's game. I admired watching him all college hoop series. Can't wait to see his younger brother Nick Nasty. So it's going to be great. Great pick by the Pirates, I understand. Yeah,
the Pirates traded up back into this draft.
They didn't let this draft.
I think, yep. I think they had a great draft so far. I believe so.
Point guard, and now they got their big man. They're looking towards the future now.
Yeah, they're definitely rebuilding through the draft. So big kudos to their GM. Now, speaking of GMs, let's talk about the Rams here. Anthony Davis, probably one of the biggest news stories of this past season. Got hurt late in the season, wanted to play in the first round of the playoffs. They didn't allow him to play. They lost in the first round to the 8-seeded Vipers, and he said, you know what? I am done with the Rams, and he is entering free agency. We'll talk about it in just a second because the pick is in. How will they replace AD in Boise? Let's see what the commissioners got to say. And with the 28th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Boise Rams select Isaiah Stewart out of the University of Washington. The Cincinnati Tigers are now on the clock. The player of the year out of Washington. Another big man off the board back to back. I think we're about to hit the stride, DSP, of where the big men keep getting selected here. So we just had Mike Nasty selected, and immediately after, it's Isaiah Stewart. So, I mean, this is a great pick, in my opinion, for the Rams. They needed this because they lost Anthony Davis, and now they selected Isaiah Stewart. So what do you think about this pick, bro?
It's an amazing pick for them. It's a great pickup because they lost a guy like AD, who was probably one of the reasons why they had such a great record during the season. Isaiah Stewart II was a player of the year, almost averaged 18 points a game at 17.9, 8.2 rebounds a game, and 2.1 blocks per game. So it's a great substitution for AD, or a great replacement, as we like to say. So kudos to them for that pick there.
All right, we are down to the last 2 picks in the first round. It is between the 2 teams that made it to the ASB finals. And man, what an ASB finals we had. The playoffs was something amazing. Congrats again to the Vancouver Stags. They picked 30th because they defeated LeBron's Cincinnati Tigers. And to mention the Tigers, they're going to look completely different. Back for the Tigers, LeBron, Derek White, Covington, and Draymond. But with the player option, Andre Drummond is still not decided as if he's going to stay with the Tigers or test free agency. Right now, he's probably got the best resume. He was a leading rebounder in the ASB last season. So a lot of teams are looking at him like, man, they're salivating. Man, he's a free agent. They're probably looking at him like well done steak right about now, wanting to pick him up for big dollars. Another guy, Fred VanVleet, will not be returning as he's an unrestricted free agent. The Tigers are going to have to make a bid for him to see if they can get him back. So what do you think the Tigers do here at this pick?
I think they should go with the guard position.
Yeah.
Because if they don't get VanVleet, they're going to need someone there at that point, because they can't have an older LeBron always having the ball in his hands.
There you go, yeah.
I think a guy like Cole Anthony would be a good pick here.
Cole Anthony out of the University of North Carolina would be a good pick. I don't have the entire draft board in front of me, but I do know there are tons of point guards left in this draft. So to pick a point guard here or two guard who can play both will be a good idea here. So with only 20 seconds left, okay, Cincinnati Tigers have made their selection. They've got it into the league, and now the commissioner will come walking out any second now to make the selection. So let's head on down to the... And with the 29th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Cincinnati Tigers select William Thompson out of Texas Tech University. The Vancouver Stags are now on the clock. So here we go. William Thompson off the board, selected by the Cincinnati Tigers. They needed a point guard. We just mentioned it. You thought Cole Anthony, DSP. What do you think about William Thompson going here instead?
I don't even have William Thompson on my board, so I don't know much about the guy. Seen a couple flashes here and there. But like I said, I thought Cole Anthony would have been a better pick. Maybe even a Cassius Winston. Is Karl Malone the fourth still out there?
No, Karl Malone, remember, he got selected 20. He's right there on the board there. He got selected 23rd.
Okay.
He was selected 23rd.
Devontae started on there. He's still out there.
Nope, he got selected 12th, so he's there 12th on the board as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
So yeah, I guess Cole Anthony is probably the only other guard out there.
Yeah.
I would have went with before this guy, but I mean, hey, maybe they've seen something that they like.
so William Thompson was a part of that Texas Tech squad that were the #1 team the entire season pretty much in college, and then lost in the first round to the Wisconsin Badgers and Nate Rubens and company. Okay, before we keep going, the champions have made their decision. Their pick is in, and here comes the commissioner once again. Let's see what he's got to say on this one. And with the 30th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Vancouver Stags select James Wiseman out of Memphis University. This concludes our first round. We will be back with the second round of our first ever ASB draft. To conclude the first round. Wow, we are going to go into a break after his highlights, so I will cover it. James Wiseman selected here. DSP, give me a quick 15-second breakdown of Wiseman before we go to the commercial break.
13.8 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and shot 56% from the field goal.
He is going to play alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo, Mitchell Robinson, and Chris Middleton. And I mean, look at these highlights. He went off both of his games in the Combine Showcase. I think he showed he is going to be a consistent and solid performer. So congrats to James Wiseman. Actually, no, we've got a little bit of time here. They're telling me we got some time here. So please, DSP, tell me what you think here. Tell me what you think before we head to commercial break.
I love the pick by the Stags, man. This pick here is great help for them in the inside with Mitchell Robinson and especially Giannis. Now Giannis can come off the wing, take a little jump shot if he wants, if he gets the miss. You got guys down low that'll get the boards for him, man. So I think it's an amazing pick for the guys. Although I have Wiseman going higher, but hey, you fell into the lap of the champions.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah, chalk it up to the rich getting richer. Man, all right, so 30 picks down, 30 picks to go. The Grand Rapids Lions are on the clock right now as we speak, but we are going to take a commercial break. Pay attention to the ticker down low. You'll start to catch up to everything. So we're going to head into this MOR ad. The first round is done. The future is now. Welcome to the show. The ASB draft will be right back.
Do you have the desire to be more? Then More Apparel is the apparel company for you. We believe that more comfort, more quality, more functionality, more honesty, and more passion will inspire you to do more for yourself, for your family, and most importantly, your community. Take pride in yourself, in your team, and in the dream. Visit our website at www.moreapparelus.com. That's www.moreapparelus.com to get active today. And remember, it's MOR. Leave off the E for excuses.
All right. We are back with second round action. During the commercial break, the Grand Rapids Lions made their selection. We had to wait till we came back. So we're gonna pop that chime up for you. The chime is here. The pick is in. Commissioner was waiting until we came back from commercial break. So he is right here at the podium. Let's see who's the 31st pick in the draft will be. And with the 31st pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Grand Rapids Lions select Denny Avdija out of Israel. The Austin Wranglers are now on the clock. Okay, so this is the third time the Grand Rapids Lions have selected today. Their first time picking, they picked Mitchell O'Brien. The second time picking, after trading away Mitchell O'Brien, they selected Jaden Williams. The third time they pick, the commissioner got his name wrong there. It's not Avdija, it's Avdiha. Denny Avdiha out of Israel is selected by the Grand Rapids Lions. DSP, what are they doing over there in Michigan and Grand Rapids? Can you tell me what's going on?
I have no idea what is going on over there in the Grand Rapids, but I'm assuming they're just gathering up guys that they feel fit their system, and it's just, maybe it's foreign to us. We don't know what their system is or what it's going to be. I guess we'll just have to sit back and wait and see what they're going to do, because I have no idea.
So you have to assume that maybe they're going to try and get Bagley the third back, because he's got the team option. They could sign him as they please, but if not, I mean, they had chances to get big men. Baby Country's still on the board. Demonby's still on the board. I'm just not sure here. Okay, so the Wranglers are now making their first selection of the draft this season, and the picks are going to come a lot quicker here as we're doing a minute and a half. So let's get the commissioner right back up. Let's hear what he's got to say. And with the 32nd pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Austin Wranglers select Killian Hayes out of France. The San Antonio Rampage are now on the clock. Okay, a little international flavor in the first two picks of our ASB draft in the second round. Killian Hayes out of France. I wish we had a Fran Fraschilla to break down all of our international players. DSP, I know you don't have much on him, but I know you have to be shocked that the Wranglers had a chance to pick a point guard. They didn't go with Cole Anthony.
Yeah, that's still really shocking to me. We still have other guys like Precious Achua, Baby Country, Billy, Bob, Booker, Thompson.
Triple B's.
That was high on my list and still haven't been taken yet. Cassius Winston, has he been taken? Nate Rulers.
Right.
There's a lot of ballers out here.
And guys who didn't even work out at the showcase. Alex Dar, Jason DePape. Point guards that didn't get invited to the combine, but were solid for their teams. You would think they'd be second rounders, and here it goes. Killian Hayes gets picked up before any of those guys. So it's insane. All right, the Rampage are making their third pick. Let's see if they can get another gem this late in the draft. Let's hear from the commissioner. Let's see who they're going to go with here. And with the 33rd pick in the ASB draft, the San Antonio Rampage select Johnny Bottoms out of Arizona University. The Carolina Reapers are now on the clock. So Johnny Bottoms out of Arizona is the selection here, one of the top players in the Wildcat team of Arizona. I mean, he was a dog for that team. So DSP, you got some numbers for him?
Yes, I got some numbers for him. He had about 14.3 points per game and almost 7 rebounds a game at 6.9. So, I mean, he's a solid pick, great pick, and I think it's a great pick for the second round. So, congrats to Johnny Bottoms.
They had to pick a big man there because, remember, they traded away Valanciunas to the Wranglers to pick up Peter Pearson. So they needed to go center there. So smart picks. We were critiquing the Lions before, and now we're bigging up the Rampage. I think they need to take some pointers from the Rampage here. Reapers on the clock. Reapers have their pick in already. Again, we're going to tell you this is going to be rapid fire. Let's hear what the commissioners got to say here. And with the 34th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Carolina Reapers select Babukar Demonby out of Kansas University. The Alabama Boars are now one of my favorite picks in this year's draft. One of, in my opinion, the premier defenders at the center position just got selected off the board by the Carolina Reapers. Solid pick, in my opinion. I may be a little biased, but Babukar Demonby out of Kansas University, and he made a 3. DSP, talk to us about him, man.
I mean, this guy is a guy that I was not paying attention to at all. If you look at his numbers in college, it wasn't great at all. He did show up a little bit in the tournament. It's one thing I did mention to a lot of the scouts who were iffy on him in the beginning at the tournament time. I told them, big man always shine during the tournament, and that's exactly what he did. But let me tell you, when it came to the showcase, the draft combine showcase for the ASB, oh man, as you can see in the highlights, that man showed up.
Out straight up block machine. The man knows how to deflect the basketball away from the rim. You can't deny something like that. So it's a good thing to see. And wow, right out of the highlights, the Boars have their pick ready. So their pick is in. Sorry, Commissioner's definitely lost like 10 pounds by now. And in this video, he's gonna be slim. Let's hear what he's got to say. And with the 35th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Alabama Boars select Johnny Tsunami from Arizona University. The St. Louis Jaguars are now on a little bit of international flavor, and now it seems like a lot of the big men are coming off the board for the ASB draft, second round draft picks. So here we go. Johnny Tsunami, Bottoms' pick here. Bottoms' teammate here. What do you got on him, DSP?
I didn't have him on my board at all. He wasn't a big that I was paying attention much to. I've heard a lot about the guy, but I haven't seen much to say, oh, yeah, this is a great pick, so I can't give my opinion on something I don't know about.
My opinion, he probably should have stayed another year, but hey, I digress. To each his own. St. Louis Jaguars, pick is in. Jaguar, I'm telling you, rapid fire. I'm loving the fact that these picks are coming over and over and over again. If you miss one, pay attention to the ticker at the bottom. Here's the commissioner. And with the 36th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the St. Louis Jaguars select Scotty Lewis out of the University of Florida. The Chicago Express are now on the clock. Scotty Lewis out of Florida, a little undersized for the small forward position, just got selected here by the St. Louis Jaguars. This is the second pick out of the Jaguars, and they didn't go with any of our user-submitted players. Maybe they got a thing against guys, actual college players. Who knows? They picked Edwards in the first round. They go Scotty Lewis here. I'm not a fan of this pick. I think Scotty Lewis is going to wind up playing the 2-guard position. So in my opinion, you just pick 2 guards for your draft. And I don't know. I mean, maybe you're trying to accommodate for Bridges and Murray, but DSP, what do you think?
Once again, that's a pick that could have went to a guy by the name of Cole Anthony, who's still sitting around waiting to be picked.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. Cole Anthony did a damn good job at the showcase. He showed that he was a good point guard. Maybe scouts saw something they didn't like. Maybe the fact that Joyner took over for North Carolina hurt his stock too. Who knows? But the Express are back on the clock. Let's see how they complement Chris Kenny here with their second pick in the second round. And with the 37th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Chicago Express select Devin Vieira from Duke University. The Seattle Dragons are now on the clock. Here comes my bias again. Young mustache, as they called him at Duke. Devin Vieira off the board. Okay, so they have their starting point guard in Chris KENNEY, and they just selected their backup point guard in Devin Vieira. I can't wait to see how these guys do at the Summer League. DSP, what you got about young pull-up Dev?
Pull-up Dev is a guy that shocked me at the ASB Draft Combine Showcase. I mean, he came out there and he balled out. He caught my attention at the championship game. I noticed that he was starting for most of the tournament, and I saw why he started, because he is the prototypical Duke point guard.
Yes, sir.
Great pick.
Yeah, he's that guy that Coach K loves at the point guard position, and he's another Duke guy selected off the board. And Seattle Dragons pick is in. Let's see who they go with to complement alongside Francis Joyner here. So here's the commissioner. He's going to come up to the podium any second now. Let's hear what pick will be here for Seattle. And with the 38th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Seattle Dragons select Bryant Reeves Jr. out of Dayton University. The El Paso Vaqueros are now on the clock. So Baby Country is off the board, and no, not out of Southern Mississippi. Come on, production truck guys, what's going on? Out of Dayton University, Baby Country, Lil Country. What did I call it? What else did I call him? Lil Country, Young Country. We can call him Young Country too, I guess. But Baby Country is the one I like. That was coined by you, DSP. What you got about Baby Country here?
Oh man, I love this pick here, especially going with Francis Joyner. What do I have here for Big Baby Country? But with this pick, I like it because Joyner is the point guard, and we have Big Baby Country in the paint. So once these two become that 1-2 punch, it could be great. 10.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks per game. I love this pick.
I mean, when you're 7'2", 313 pounds, you're bound to make a splash. It's just great picks by Seattle, because they're gonna help complement the guys that are there for them already. Joyner's gonna be a good point guard. Donovan Mitchell and D'Lo Russell, they're guys that want to attack, guys that want to shoot it, and Reeves is gonna clean up the mess of all of those guys. So they got themselves a solid pick here, and now the Vaqueros are on the board. They picked up Obi Toppin first, and now they're here with their second pick. Who's going to complement Harden and company once again? The pick is in with just 5 seconds to go on the clock here. So I think we're going to run out of clock, but the pick is in, so they're okay. They won't have to forfeit their pick. Let's see what the commissioner has. He's heading to the podium. Let's see what he's got to say. And with the 39th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the El Paso Vaqueros select Devon Dotson out of Kansas University. The New York Pitbulls are now on the clock. So Devon Dotson off the board, point guard out of Kansas. I think that's all the Kansas guys selected now for the Jayhawks. I think all the guys are off the board. Didn't get invited to the Combine Showcase, so no highlights for him. You got anything on him, DSP?
He's another guy that I wasn't really paying attention to. Of course, he wasn't invited to the Combine. He didn't do much for Kansas. As I said, I was paying more attention to Devin B when Kansas was playing, and I've seen Devin B at the showcase in the draft combine. So I can't really say much about this guy here.
So Dotson averaging about 12.7 points per game for them. He was the leading scorer, but again, another ball-dominant point guard. Only 2.7 assists per game. I think that's what hurt him, that he's not that much of a distributor. He's just a small shooting guard. The Pitbulls on the board again. Who they going to pick next to their 6'10" tower of a point guard? Let's hear exactly what the commissioner has to say here. The Pitbulls off the clock. Their pick is in. Let's hear what they got to say. And with the 40th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the New York Pitbulls select Cole Anthony out of the University of North Carolina. The Hartford Pirates are now on the clock. Cole Anthony goes here to the New York Pitbulls after the Pitbulls have already selected a point guard. I mean, granted, Simmons can play 1 through 3, so you pretty much picked up a very versatile guard in the first round pick, but your traditional point guard here in Cole Anthony, DSP, we've been talking about him all night. Let me give you the floor here and let you talk about him.
I mean, it's good to finally see one of the guys that I've been watching for a while now, because he was on North Carolina with Francis Joyner and Chris Kenny, and running that four-guard offense. He averaged 11.4 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, and 2.3 assists. As you said, his starting point guard position was taken away, but he was moved to the 2 position. So he is a combo guard. So this is a good pick for him. And like you said, Deion Sanders can actually play from 1 to 4. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the dynamic I want to see. Exactly how they use Deion Simmons in their offense. It's going to be a beautiful sight to see. And here come the Pirates with I believe their 3rd pick of this draft. They have LaMelo, they have Mike Nasty. Let's see what they do here in the second round. A lot of good names still on the board here. Let's see who they go with. And with the 41st pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Hartford Pirates select Jason DePape from Michigan University. The Bronx Brawlers are now on the clock. Out of the University of Michigan. I said Michigan University, but out of the University of Michigan, Jason DePape gets selected. A guy who was not invited to the ASB combine, was a senior, so he declared to go to the draft. Only averaged at 6 points a game and 3 dimes per game. DSP, what do you think about this pick?
This pick was an okay pick. I would have went with a different person at that position. But I mean, like I said, there's still guys that are on my board that haven't even been looked at, like Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah, just about to mention him.
Cumberland, who's a dynamic scorer in the NCAA, and he hasn't even been looked at.
All right, Brawlers pick in. Let's hear the commissioner. Sorry to cut you off, buddy. And with the 42nd pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Bronx Brawlers select Mark Ferguson out of Michigan State University. The Louisville Sting are now on the clock. Tandem Michigan guys get selected here. Mark Ferguson, another one of those seniors. Seems like the upperclassmen are starting to fall off the board now here. We're getting a lot of upperclassmen and foreigners. I shouldn't say foreigners, international athletes. I think that sounds a lot better than foreigners. International athletes getting picked off the board here. Mark Ferguson for the Bronx Brawlers. You got anything on him, DSP?
No, I do not there, brother.
So nothing on Mark Ferguson. Sorry, Mark. We don't mean to disrespect you, but you didn't make that big of a splash in the College Hoop Series. But congratulations to you. How about that? Louisville Sting, who is going to complement Luka Doncic and Kyle Thomas. Their pick is in. Let's hear what the commissioners got. And with the 43rd pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Louisville Sting select Vernon Carey Jr. out of Duke University. The Utah Tribe are now on the clock. Does this man right here go this late in the draft? Pick 43, Vernon Carey Jr. gets selected by the Louisville Sting. So let's talk about it real quick, DSP. They selected 15, Duke Blue Devil, Kyle Thomas, and they select here at 43, I believe I just said, Duke Blue Devil, Vernon Carey Jr. Tell me what you think of that, brother.
I love that pick because those two guys held down the Furious Four to about, just 9 points altogether?
I think it was like 12. Something insane.
It was insane, and so to see, and I've seen those guys. I've seen that game up close and personal, and to see him and Kyle Thomas work that paint defensively and offensively, it's pretty scary. So great pick.
I mean, they just put 2 championship players in the same team in the league alongside Luka Doncic and possibly DeMar DeRozan. Insane. Watch out for the Sting next season. The Tribe have made their selection. I'm telling you, we're almost done here, DSP. Pick is in. Let's listen to the commissioner on this one. And with the 44th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Utah Tribe select Jaden McDaniels out of the University of Washington. The San Antonio Rampage are now on the clock. So Jaden McDaniels out of Washington, another invite from the white team. in the ASB Draft Combine Showcase. A little undersized in my opinion. He's a small forward, 6'10", 200 pounds. DSP, you got anything on my man here out of Washington?
I don't have any stats on him, but I like what I saw from him at the showcase. He didn't back down from any of the guys that were ranked higher than him. He took it to the basket. He wasn't afraid of the other big, so he is a solid ball player. I'm just upset I didn't have any stats on him.
So I've got some here on his season. 6.7 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game. Stewart was the guy at Washington. And then they also had CHRYS, a guy who has entered the transfer portal. User players entered the transfer portal. Washington's going to look completely different next season with those guys gone. But to me, he's just a little undersized. 6'10", 200 pounds. You're going to get moved around in the ASB, man. Even if you play the 3 position, there are some strong small forwards nowadays. Okay, the Rampage are picking, I think, again, is this the 5th pick for the Rampage? They've had buku picks this season. And I believe this is their 5th pick overall. So let's hear what they got here for the commissioner. And with the 45th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the San Antonio Rampage select Theo Maledon out of France. The Las Vegas Aces are now on the clock. With Bert Pearson, Theo Maledon here out of France, the French point guard. I could have sworn I'm hanging my hat on it, man. I think they picked early in this round. It's gonna pop up on the ticker eventually, but nonetheless, Theo Maledon, the Frenchman, gets selected here by the San Antonio Rampage. I'm sure you don't have much on him. We don't have much on the international guys getting selected here. But again, congrats to him. The Vegas Aces are on the clock. So while we have the time here, what do you think of this draft so far? What has surprised you in this draft so far, DSP?
The surprising, I love the activity that's been going on with the draft, like the trade ups and the trade downs and the certain picks that are being made. And some of the picks are just flat out weird. So I love the activity that's been going on.
Yeah, it's been a good time. So yes, that was their 4th pick. They went Pearson, Burt, Bottoms, and now Maledon. They pretty much have a whole starting 5 that they selected here. So I love the Rampage activity in this draft so far. Speaking of activity, the Aces pick is now in. Let's hear from the commissioner. Let's see who the Vegas Aces go with in this one. And with the 46th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Las Vegas Aces select Ochai Agbaji out of Kansas University. The Pittsburgh Trojans are now on the clock. Ochai Agbaji, the 6'5", 210-pound Kansas alum, the 2 guard, didn't do much for Kansas. 10.8 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game. He was pretty much just a scorer. Another guy not invited to the combine, so we don't have any fancy highlights to show you. DSP, I think I already know your answer, but I gotta ask, as if this was a WWE, the broadcast journalist I am, do you have anything on him, sir?
No, I don't, sir. I don't even remember him during the college series.
Ochai Agbaji did not do much. And for some reason, I mean, he gets picked here. I figured he would do a lot. He wouldn't even go drafted here, but he gets picked up here. So the Aces liked what they saw and decided to pick here. So the Pittsburgh Trojans, who stole martial law away, I mean, here we go. And let's see who they pick here. Commissioner coming up any second now. And with the 47th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Pittsburgh Trojans select Samuel Williamson out of Louisiana University. The Arizona Vipers are now on the clock. So Samuel Williamson, a member of the black team in the Draft Combine Showcase. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Picked by the... Wow, I had a real big brain fart. Who is he picked by? Was that the Wildcats? No, that was the Trojans. The Trojans picked him up there. Small forward out of Louisville, a little undersized. Do you have the numbers on him, DSP?
What was that player's name?
Samuel Williamson out of Louisville.
No, I did not have no numbers on Samuel Williamson. He was not on my board at all.
I see him here, 4.5 points per game. Pick is in for the Arizona Vipers. Let's see what they've got here. And with the 48th pick, the Arizona Vipers select Xavier Simpson out of Michigan University. The San Diego Skyhawks are on the clock. Xavier, I'm just going to go Xavier. Xavier Simpson, a veteran point guard, another senior, again, upperclassman getting selected here from the second round on here, out of the University of Michigan. And so far, it's been pretty crazy. Now, the San Diego Skyhawks are here, and they're going to be picking. Congrats to Xavier Simpson. I think he's going to be a solid backup for Ja, because again, the Vipers had a point guard that they had no backup for, and it showed in that game against the Stags. Wouldn't you agree, DSP, that he had no help, and when he shot terrible, they had nothing to do, and they got blown out. So what do you think?
No, I absolutely agree with you. It's a great pickup. They need that backup for their point guard, because once he ran out of gas, the team ran out of gas, and it was a bad sight to see. But obviously they learned from it, and they made the proper pickups they needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to stop talking about the Vipers, but the San Diego Skyhawks have less than 15 seconds, and they have yet to submit their pick. If they do not submit their pick in time, they're going to be in a lot of trouble here. So there's 3 seconds left on this clock. Okay, here we are at 0. The San Diego Skyhawks did not submit their pick in the allotted time. They will forfeit their pick. The Kansas City Beasts are now on the clock. So the San Diego Skyhawks, in a crazy turn of events, did not pick their selection in time. So they forfeit their pick, and we will not have a 49th pick in the draft. We're jumping right to 50, and we're going right to the Kansas City Beasts at pick number 50 here. DSP, what's going on in San Diego?
I don't know. That's the first I've ever seen in any draft. I don't think I've ever seen a pick not actually get picked. That's a first. So per our rule in the ASB, in the NFL, if you don't make a pick, you just get jumped, and your pick keeps going back until you don't pick in time. It happened to the Vikings, I think, 2 seasons that they didn't get their pick in time in the 15 minutes. Like, how do you not do that? I don't know. But here in the ASB, if you do not make your selection in the allotted time, you forfeit your pick. So the San Diego Skyhawks just forfeited their pick, and that's got to be a tough break when you get, they're giving you a free chance to get players of the future here. So tough break for the Skyhawks. The Beasts are on the clock. They already got their pick in, capitalizing on it. What if this is a guy that they wound up wanting to pick for San Diego? Oh well, good job by Kansas City. Pick is in. Here comes the commissioner once again. Hopefully some good news here. And with the 50th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Kansas City Beasts select Ashton Hagans out of Kentucky University. The Nashville Cobras are now on the clock. So Ashton Hagans is picked up by Kentucky, another player, another point guard off the board. I wish I had a running tally of the amount of point guards that were selected today. A lot of guards selected in the ASB draft this year. The big men were scarce, but they all are talented. That's one thing I'm gonna say. Every single big man in this one were what's the word I want to use here? Efficient ballers in college, and they're going to be efficient ballers in the league. But Ashton Hagans gets selected here from the University of Kentucky. Another surprise pick to me. What's blowing my mind? Precious Achiuwa, Michael Rodman, Jalen Smith, Trey Jones, and Romaro Gill. 5 guys that I still have not seen come off of this board, while other guys that we like, these international players, guys that just got picked in Hagans and Williamson, and it's mind-boggling to me. After this pick, DSP, I'll get back to you on that one, but the Cobras pick is in. Let's see who they pick here. Who's going to complement the steal and Myles Powell. And with the 51st pick in the Season 2 ASB draft,
the Nashville Cobras select George Anthony out of Memphis University. The Florida Wildcats are
George
now
Anthony
on the clock.
gets selected here. But yeah, what do you think, DSP? I mean, these guys that haven't been picked yet. What do you think about that? Do you think their draft stocks are permanently hurt here? What do you think?
I can't say permanently, because like guys like Precious Achua, the way he played, you would think his draft stock was going to be up there because he was showing out against premier big men. So
Right.
This is very shocking to me, because those names you mentioned are guys that really showed up and played. So this has to be more than a draft stock thing. I believe maybe it's a position filling thing. I'm not sure. As we're seeing now, we're seeing tons and tons of point guards being picked up.
Right. I mean, and another guy, Billy Bob Booker Thompson. Florida Wildcats are on the clock. Billy Bob Booker Thompson's another guy who hasn't been picked yet. It's just what do these guys have to do to get selected? It's odd that we don't have that many picks left. I think we're at 52 now. So there's about 8 picks left in this draft, DSP. And for these guys to still be on the board is mind-boggling to me. The Wildcats pick is in. We'll get back to talking about that. That is the story of the draft so far now. So let's see what the commissioners got on this pick. And with the 52nd pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Florida Wildcats select Alex Dar out of Michigan State University. The Tulsa Cyclones are now on the point guard goes off the board. Alex Dar, no disrespect to Alex Dar. I believe he went exactly where we thought he was going to go. I think he was a guy that we left a little too early. You can elaborate on that, DSP, if you'd like. But he only averaged 4.9 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, and he was behind Cassius Winston. And he gets selected before Cassius Winston. I mean, this second half of the draft is very strange. DSP, what you got?
Very weird. Alex Dar definitely should have stayed another year, because he could have been the guy
Right.
at this school, because Cassius Winston, who averaged about 14.4 points a game, 4.4 assists a game, shot 56% from the field and 49% from three-point, definitely was ready to go to the league. But Alex Dar, he felt that he was ready and he had something to prove, so he got picked up. So congrats to him, and hopefully Cassius Winston gets a look too, man. What is going on?
I mean, he's going to a good team. He's going to the Florida Wildcats, playing with Kawhi, a playoff team. So hopefully that veteran leadership, that veteranship will help him down in Florida and allow him to develop and be a good player. So now the Cyclones pick is in. Let's see what the Cyclones go with. I mean, this draft at this junction has been very unpredictable. And with the 53rd pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Tulsa Cyclones select Cassius Winston out of Michigan State University. The Long Beach Bruins are now on the clock. Cassius Winston, we were just talking about him, DSP. It's almost like we wished it into fruition here. Cassius Winston, we haven't seen one of these highlights in a while now, I feel like. Cassius Winston out of Michigan State University gets selected here. What you got for him, DSP?
Cassius Winston, like I said, 14.4 points per game, 4.4 assists per game, 56% from the field, 49% from three-point. He did his thing at the ASB draft combine showcase, as you can see with the highlights. He was no slouch. Great size. He's part of the hybrid point guard or hybrid guard, small forward position. So great pick for that team there.
It's just, I don't know. He played very well martial law. They were the 1-2 punch that got to the Final Four. I'm shocked he went this late, but I'm happy that he's got a chance here. Let's see what he does for the Cyclones in this first season here. But all right, now the Bruins have a choice for a selection here. Let's see what the commissioners got for Long Beach. And with the 55th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Long Beach Bruins select Billy Bob Booker Thompson out of Texas Tech University. The Portland Storm are now on the clock. So it seems like the guys we talked about are now finally coming off the board here very late in the draft. Pick 54, Billy Bob Booker Thompson, triple B's, is off the board. Now, I think I'm going to just make a claim here. 6'8", 266 pounds. I think that's what might have hurt him. I think they might think he's a little too heavy to play the small forward position. Tell me what you think, brother.
his team. So like he couldn't really showcase what he could really do. But at that combine, he showed them that he can get the boards, man. He averaged 10.5 points per game and 6.5 rebounds per game during the college hoop showcase.
All right, so the pick is in. The Storm are making their selection. Let's hear the commissioner once again. And with the 55th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Portland Storm select Jay Scrubb from John A. Logan Community College. The Jacksonville Pumas are now on the clock. I think the commish was a little shocked to say that dude's community college that he came out of. It's not Trinity Valley. I didn't even hear it all. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but this guy's last name is Scrub. Great size. He's a great size guy. 6'6", 220 pounds. We don't have that much on him. He might be the guy that might show up and show out and may win Rookie of the Year. You never know. So the Portland Storm obviously saw something there to select Jay Scrubb at that spot at 55, I believe. So we're here at 56 now, and the Jacksonville Pumas will make their selection. We're coming up on the tail end of this draft. Here's the commissioner. And with the 56th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Jacksonville Pumas select Nate Roovers out of Wisconsin University. The Vancouver Stags are now on the clock. So Nate Roovers, one of my favorite guys to watch during the tournament last season, selected very late in this draft, going to a team that needs some bigs. He's going to help out Capella, 6'11", 235 pounds, out of Wisconsin. Nate Roovers helped his team make it to the Elite Eight before losing to Michigan State in the Elite Eight. So you got anything on Nate Roovers, big bro?
Yeah, Nate Roovers, 14.1 points per game, 4.8 rebounds per game, 1.8 blocks per game. One thing I remember about Nate Roovers, he was having a very tough time against martial law, but he did also try to keep up. When you're going up against a star like martial law, you're going to have a long day. But big shout out to Nate Roovers and congrats to joining the ASB.
Well, let's be honest. Martial law is just a freak of nature. Martial law is just something else. A terrific athlete, and Roovers is more your traditional back to basket center. He did drop, I think, 30 in his first tournament game to knock out Texas Tech. So he shows he can score it. Let's see if he can translate that to the pro game. Again, tail end of this draft, the Vancouver Stags are picking here, I believe at 57, because now it's going by record as opposed to where you landed in the playoffs. So, all right, pick is in with 10 seconds to go here in the draft clock. Let's see who is going to join Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Stags. And with the 57th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Vancouver Stags select Kamar Baldwin out of Butler University. The Providence Outlaws are now on the clock. Yep. So Kamar Baldwin, the teammate of the 4th pick overall, Peter Pearson at Butler, two guard, small two guard, man, 6'1", 195. Averaged some big numbers there for Butler, 14.0 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, only at 1.9 assists per game. I think his height is going to play the difference there. I'd love to talk about him more, but Providence said, you know what? Let's get this draft over with. Pick is in. Let's see. We're going to head back down. I'm telling you, the commish is weighing about 210 right now. And with the 58th pick in the Season 2 ASB draft, the Providence Outlaws select Infale Dante out of Oregon. The Boise Rams are now on the clock. Infale Dante out of Oregon, the University of Oregon. I like the pick. Just go big. I think you got to go bigs here. There's not too many great bigs left. So Infale Dante out of Oregon. Do you have him on your board there, DSP?
No, he's not on my board.
So Dante wasn't on your board. Big guy, 6'11", 231 pounds. He's a good rebounder, solid rebounder. Averaged about 5 boards a game and had a block per game. So he's got the length. He can defend. I think this late in the draft, you're just trying to go with who's probably the best guy on the board. I don't think he was. But if you were looking for a center, then that's what you have to do. Again, we still have Michael Rodman not picked DSP. We still don't have Precious Achua picked. I think Jalen Smith and Romaro Gill were better big men, especially Gill, who's 7'2", still not picked up in this draft. So, I mean, are these guys going to get picked up late here? Maybe the Rams do it here. What do you think?
If anything is possible, there are 2 more picks. Let's see what they do here, brother.
I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, after this, we're almost done at the tail end of the draft, and we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna take it home. So the pick is in for the Rams. Let's hear exactly what the slimmest commissioner in pro sports has to say. And with the 59th pick in the season 2 ASB draft, the Boise Rams select Elijah Hughes out of Syracuse University. The Cincinnati Tigers are now on the clock. Elijah Hughes, man, pick 59. I thought he'd be picked a lot sooner. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, DSP. What you got about Elijah?
I got 13.9 points per game and 3.5 rebounds per game. The guy is a solid player, man. He came out and represented during the ASB draft combine showcase. I was really shocked to see him drop this low, man. You heard the numbers I gave you. The guy can put up buckets.
See, now I think what hurt him is that the Syracuse University team didn't do well in the College Hoop Series season, and I think that hurt his stock a little. But I mean, I'm sure he was probably undrafted at that point. But here he goes, going this late. I think that is a good pick for the Rams. This late, in my opinion, that's more of a steal. Because, I mean, 14 points a game. He can shoot it from the outside. Very versatile swingman. I think that's a good pick. So, but speaking of picks, we're at the last one. We made it, DSP. The draft is coming to a close here. Yeah, it was an absolute time. I'm glad you stuck around with me for these 2 hours. The pick is in. Let's get this pick in before we start doing all our swan song stuff. All right, let's get back to the commissioner. Let's hear what he has to say on the last pick. Before we wrap things up, I just want to say thank you for everyone who took the time out to tune in and see the future stars of the Association of Simulation Basketball. And with the 60th pick in the Season 2 ASB Draft, the Cincinnati Tigers select Trendon Watford out of Louisiana State University. This concludes the first ever ASB Draft. Thank you for coming out. Have a good night, everyone. So Trendon Watford gets selected here, LSU. He was a backup out of that Furious 4 lineup. A solid backup, in my opinion, for LSU. But that's it. That ends the draft. What do you got on Watford before we close the show out?
I don't have any numbers on Watford, but like I said, I told you I watched that team very closely. Watford was a solid backup for Clarence Moore and D'Amico Burke. He came off the bench. He did what he had to do. When they did sit down, he didn't make many mistakes, and he put the ball in the basket when he needed to. So it was a great pick right there for the Tigers. Can't wait to see him in the Tigers.
I think the Rams and the Tigers got it right at the end of this draft here. They made some good picks that'll fit their team, and not just picking the best guy available. But let's talk about who didn't get picked, DSP. Achua, not picked at all. Michael Rodman, not picked at all. Trey Jones, not picked at all. A champion in Trey Jones. Romaro Gill, the big man out of Seton Hall, not picked up. And Jalen Smith out of Maryland, not picked up. What do you think of some of those names of guys not selected?
I mean, the one that really rocks me is Precious Achua, because he played great during the season, averaged about almost 11 points and almost 6 rebounds a game, and shot 54% from the field. Yeah,
it's insane.
He played solid in the ASB showcase, the draft combine showcase. I'm shocked he didn't get picked up. I'm shocked Rob didn't get picked up. I mean, this is a guy that didn't he lead the nation in rebounding?
He was up there. He was definitely up there. If he didn't lead, he was definitely top 5. His game is boards. How do you not pick up a guy? I know he's a little undersized at 6'7", but he plays way above the rim in this day and age of positionless simulation basketball. You gotta believe that he's got a spot somewhere. Just because you don't get drafted though doesn't mean you won't have a shot in the ASB. I believe all 5 of these guys are going to have a shot with somebody somewhere. They're probably going to be able to prove it at the Summer League, which is coming up. It'll be the next time you see anything ASB, we will be doing live simulations of the Summer League on Wednesday night. So stick around and stay tuned for that. You have any closing things you want to say, DSP, before we get on out of here?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, thank you for having me on here for the draft, man. It was a pleasure to be a part of this. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram. That's at THABLASTPODCAST. The podcast is available on all digital streaming platforms. Just click the link in the bio and you can get familiar with the platform, man. Thanks again, Pablo.
Hey, man, not a problem. Anytime. This was absolutely fun. Man, 2 hours. We're here. We made it. We're finished. I'm gonna leave and get a very tall glass of beer. But we are done. There's our graphic. You have just watched the entire draft of the ASB on the Last Life Gaming Network. Please make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything ASB. Thank you for watching.